night. You might be inside. Maybe you're getting ready for Thanksgiving plans to go away early. Forget all of that for good reasons, because we have a lot to talk about in the world of wrestling, and not one, not two, not three, but even four companies with our guest. He has been one of the more well-traveled names this year on Sportswire Radio. He returns, and he's got a lot to get off his chest that he's contractually obligated to get off his chest. But I promise you, it's going to be worth it. There's going to be a who's who of names that are going to be thrown out there. There's been words about trash, words about Sunday school, church, world titles, even places in different states having their first live show. Our guest needs no introduction, but because he is the reigning, defending OMW world champion and he hasn't been here in several weeks, he must get that introduction that all of his peers get and some. So with that, without further ado here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, the reigning, defending OMW World Heavyweight Champion. They call him the World Card Jason Storm. The champ is here.
So before we get started, I'd like everybody to know that I'm only here so I don't get suspended from my home federation, ROEW, lawsuit number 6, for not telling me I was scheduled to be on Sportswire tonight, but here I am anyway. So let's get on with the questions, Tom.
Well, I mean, I'll certainly get into the lawsuit in a little while, but, I want to ask you something. Originally, I was going to go in a different direction, but I think I'm going to go in this direction here because, I was watching the Alliance Wrestling League's TV, and it's well documented that you've been on their TV, and a gentleman who leads a group called the Black Flag Army. You've heard of him as ADT. You've called him a security system. In fact, some people here on Sportswire have said that. But he has also said that he is basically the guy. Instead of calling it BYW, the initials should be ADT. And he addressed you. He addressed ROEW. He called it trash. And he's coming for you after what you did to him without even showing up to cause him to lose his most prized possession, that Alliance Wrestling League title. So for those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, the wild card Jason Storm, tell us what we can expect this coming Sunday here, ROEW anniversary, in a dream match between you and ADT.
Well, first off, Tom, for Mr. ADT to say that BYW is ADT proves my initial point of the man cannot spell, he cannot read, he cannot write. He's from the South. I hate Southerners, Tom. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. But lawsuit number 7 for ROEW management for not warning me that ADT was going to come to my show early, and he put his hands on me, Tom. He attacked me. It was a heinous assault. But rest assured, that assault will not go unpunished, because this Sunday, although I'm a man of God, and I should be enjoying what I do best, the Lord's work, I will take 1 week off from that and beat the ever-living shit out of that Southern hillbilly, illiterate prick, ADT. And I'll show him why, when it comes to ROEW up here and AWL all the way down here in the little leagues, why I was the longest reigning ROEW champion of all time. And I'll show him what backyard wrestling really is about because he doesn't seem to know too much about it.
I'll get to comments in a second because there are people that have tuned in. They want to say a few
I'm
things, and
sure
I'll
there's
imagine
parasites already
it's
blowing.
it's gonna definitely come in as we're just getting on here, and people always kind of come late to the party. But thank you for coming to the party, regardless. But he also mentioned personally where you live, Warren, Michigan. He specifically was. Oh, it's almost kind of the wild card, Jason Storm. Tell me your thoughts. It's almost a no to actually personally mention where somebody lives, and he specifically said Warren, Michigan. Yeah, talk about that. How'd that make you feel?
Mention that because he's another point I have said. ADT is an idiot. Just because ROEW is based in Warren doesn't mean that the wild card lives in Warren. I would never live in that scum, disgusting, crackhead-filled city, Warren, Michigan. Are you kidding me? I would never. I hate traveling there. The only reason I travel down there, and I do mean down there, because I am contractually obligated to, and I pretty much have to be forced out the door by my wife every single time ROEW is ready to film.
Okay, so basically he got it wrong, and that's on him.
He definitely got it wrong. I don't. Warren, Michigan. What does that even fucking mean? Who lives in Warren?
Well, I couldn't comment, so I'm going to go away from that because I'm not going to get into where people want to live. That's people's personal choice. And
who live in Warren, Tom? I'll tell you because I know a lot about Warren. Scumbags. Scumbags, parasites, ghetto crackheads, and prostitutes. Whores, Tom. Whores live in Warren.
Well, those are some strong words. I'm going to plead the fifth on some of that, but I will ask you further on the fact your promo on Alliance Wrestling League TV, where you said, you know what? Look at where I am. I don't have anything left. All I have around me is moving boxes and garbage and ADT. You almost don't know what you're getting into. Tell me your thoughts on this, champ, that in a way, maybe ADT is coming into an environment with the state of mind that you're in, especially with everything that you've gone through here, that, you know what, maybe he doesn't know what he's getting into because he's not going to have the Black Flag Army, we would imagine, to help interfere and put him over the top against you and what you're going to do to him this Sunday.
Well, let's talk about a few things. It's no secret, ever since I lost the ROEW World Heavyweight Championship, I've lost everything else. My family's abandoned me. My wife's abandoned me. We've been kind of getting along recently, but it's still rough. We're still working on things. I pretty much have nothing left other than to prove that I am one of the best in backyard wrestling. And really my main goal right now is to help my best friend, CJ Black, get his property back. But we have his hit cousin getting involved. And to answer your question further, he doesn't know what he's getting into for the following reasons. I'm a world champion, 2-time world champion, recently in backyard wrestling. And I'm not talking 13 years with 12 of those being inactive. I'm talking about in my rookie year, 2-time world champion, United States champion, CBW 24/7 Wild West champion. That's 4 title belts that I've won this year alone. I've wrestled in a squared circle. ADT wrestles on a mattress. A mattress, Tom. He has idea.
Some people do have an issue with that. Listen, I understand that point. Some people may have an issue with that. But what I will give you credit on is, yes, you're correct. In the year that you've had here, your freshman year, in the ring has been impressive. You've come a long way from where you started to where you are now. You've traveled and wrestled in different states. And to your point, you have it's divided your family. The success that you've had has come at a cost. It's come at a high cost. But you've also got to be driven by the fact that the last time we saw ADT in the ring, he came out to your music. I mean, he punked you. I mean, in this sport, for somebody to do that, that's a big no-no. That's almost really crossing the line there. I mean, he really crossed the line. You got to admit that.
I'm not worried about some hillbilly has been what if hick coming out to my music. Is I don't even come out to that music anymore. I don't wear a hoodie to the ring anymore. He got it all wrong. I don't know where this man gets his
Well, you've
research
got a
from.
mask now,
But that was
actually.
the old
Correct.
Jason
Yeah,
Storm.
correct.
The new and improved Jason Storm is on a warpath. I am a killer. I am a fighting machine, Tom. Yes, my ROEW record as of late still has not been on a high note, but 2 matches I'm announced for. 2 victories on the horizon. It's my time to rise again, Tom. I'm going to rise from the ashes. I'm going to show the entire locker room in AWL and ROEW at Anniversary why I am the wild card, why I am backyard wrestling, why I am that fucking guy. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can prove that is, without shadow of a doubt, a fact. Because when you talk about backyard wrestlers in general, in 2023, my name should be at the very top of the list. And ADT is an afterthought. And he's always been an afterthought. That's why he hid away for so many years like a little coward that he is. Because he's an afterthought. And he doesn't know what wrestling and what fighting and what being at the top of a wrestling promotion is all about. And I rest my case. Next question, Tom.
Well, I'm going to not get to a next question. I'm going to get to a ton of comments here because people want to talk to you. So I'm going to leave my comments aside here.
So help me God, if it's not somebody go ahead, read it.
He says, not this guy. Oh, no, not this guy. Somebody wants to give you... this guy, Ron. He comes and watches Sportswire shows. He says, oh, no, not this guy. Yeah,
Ron.
Big Ron PHL. Well, there's one comment that actually wants to praise you. If I could read that comment.
Please go ahead.
My buddy, actually, Justin Parsley, Mr. Parsley, is one half of the XCW Tag Team Champions, the real ones. He is the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Says, glad to see this guest stayed connected for the entire intro because last night's guest, Mr. Joshua Allen, the owner of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, unfortunately had some technical difficulties, but we powered through it and we had a phenomenal interview. I'm sure that people have been talking about that still, but Mr. Parsley wants to praise you just for being able to stay connected.
In regards to that is Tennessee is in the South and Southerners don't have Wi-Fi. So he probably ran out of his hotspot and had to rush to buy more gigabytes on the hotspot. So I get it. No disrespect to you, Joshua Allen, but I get how it is down south. I know how it's like. No Wi-Fi, no computers, no cell phones, really. So I don't even know how you got a camera working, but I get it.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to certainly plead the fifth on that, but Mr. Allen actually responds and some. He says, another one like Atomic Titan on the Respect campaign.
When did I say respect?
I guess that's what he feels. That's his opinion, not mine.
I don't give a damn about respect. I give a shit about hurting people, Joshua Allen.
Okay. All right. So speaking of somebody else that he just referenced to before I get to a few other comments, the Atomic freaking Titan, who's the Hardcore King, by the way. He's the new Hardcore Champion in Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, which you can certainly check them out at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on YouTube and Instagram, and they're also on TikTok. And obviously, they've got some big shows coming up as well. And it was a pleasure to have on Mr. Titan, despite some may disagree with me on that. He says, give the respect, though, to Jason Storm, who will kick ADT's butt.
What a good guy. I love Atomic Titan. He's such a good guy. Thank you. You know what? Hardcore King, I respect you. I have respect for you. You are a Southern man that can actually read and write. I love it. I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, certainly him and Mr. Allen very well may be going to the mat real soon. Certainly that's the topic of discussion for most in the yard, and they seem to be going back and forth. But before I get to a comment of somebody you might be seeing in a ring real soon, Mr. Allen wants to say ADT can get the job done. There's always the underdog story, which he referenced yesterday. What do you say to that? But I don't think ADT is really an underdog, though. I mean, is he really an underdog story? He's a bully in his own right, too, though, no?
Next comment, Tom. Next comment.
Okay. Okay, well, this one I don't feel like you might laugh so much to because it's somebody that you've actually had quite a bit of history with of late, and his name is Jacob Collins. And Jacob Collins wants to quote unquote say, "You went from being the best ROEW champion of all time to CJ Black's personal cheerleader." Would you want to opine or comment directly toward Mr. Collins, especially after the back and forth we've seen with you and him over the past several weeks?
That comment actually hurt my brain a little bit. Jocelyn, rest assured, you little pathetic parasite. Once I'm done with ADT, I'm going to make you tap out or I'm going to make you stop breathing. So you can comment on the little screen all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm not done with you. And I'm going to make you realize that I still am and always will be the greatest ROEW champion of all times. Past tense, current tense, and future. I am him, Mr. Collins.
Well, I'll
And I don't
definitely
want to
get.
hear.
God.
I don't want to hear another peep out of you tonight because you're making my head hurt. And when my head starts to hurt, I do disgusting and dangerous things. And you're really starting to piss me off already. I see your stupid little picture on the screen there, and it makes me want to break my own phone.
Now, I'll get to the world title picture later on, and I'll get your thoughts on the match between JX, the current champion, and CJ Black. I'll get your opinion on that. But, I was curious because I have a different take on what's going on between you and Mr. Collins. And tell me your thoughts on this. Obviously, we saw what happened between you and Jacob Collins at a church not long ago. We now know that was at the church where Jacob Collins teaches Sunday school. We saw it referenced in your promo. You and him went back and forth, and he attacked you, and he certainly did a number on you, which is going to lead to a match eventually here in the coming weeks between you and him in a no DQ submission match. But tell me your thoughts on this. I think, in a way, to the fact that you were invited in this church, wouldn't it, in a way, have been a mistake on Mr. Collins' part? Because he also talked a lot about considering you a brother. He talked about the friendship between you and him. But what I've been asking a lot of wrestlers here, it doesn't matter if it's in the yard, if it's in the pros, if it's in the semi-pros, if it's in overseas in the UK. And I've asked this question that there really seems to be, though, no loyalty in this sport. It's really about championships and the money. So ultimately, at the end of the day, is it a mistake on Mr. Collins' part by letting his guard down and having what happened to him? What is your thoughts on all that?
I would definitely chalk it up to being a rookie mistake for the following reasons. When I entered the church, Jacob sat there with a tear in his eyes and said, "Oh no, please don't make it personal, Mr. Storm. You're my hero. Please don't do this to me. You idiot." From the second you stepped in the ring and thought you could pin me 1, 2, 3, it was personal, Jacob. And anywhere, at any time, I will show up and I will make you my bitch, just like I did in your own little precious church. I gave God the opportunity to save you, but he didn't. And there's 2 reasons for that. Either A, he doesn't exist, or B, he has no faith in a Poindexter, nerdy loser like Jacob Collins. He probably saw you're running ROEW and said, why would I save that parasite? He is the scum on the bottom of Jason Storm's shoe. I'm not going to save him. But I have a different theory on that. And that would be the first thing I said, that he doesn't exist, Jacob. You're praising a fairy tale. Just like the rest of these pathetic humans on this planet. Oh my God, we need something to praise at night so we can feel better about our pathetic miserable lies. I'm done with that shit. You
Okay,
get a lesson from me.
now you did say that you were intending to kill him in this no DQ submission match, which we now know we heard on ROEW TV. By the way, give a follow to ROEW here. We've provided the links for those that are listening and watching. If you want to check out and support ROEW, please give them a follow. They're on YouTube and Instagram at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. And this Sunday will be the anniversary show where we'll see ADT and the wild card Jason Storm in action. But I mean, you said you were going to kill Jacob Collins. Is that what you're intending to do here in this match? Is that your intention, sir?
Well, Jacob Collins sees a picture of him beating me and going on to fight with my best friend CJ Black. So by any means necessary, Tom, I have to stop him from doing that. And if murder is the only option, who am I to say no? Really, it's a mercy killing if I do it, because if CJ gets his hands on Jacob Collins, it's going to be 10 times worse than what I would do to him. I'm really just helping Jacob out if I do kill him. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, certainly, again, I would say that he might have let his guard down. He certainly had his emotions that he opened up weeks back. But conversely, and I'll get to comments, I have a few of them, and I promise I'll get to you in a second.
Tom.
Yeah.
Before you continue, didn't he look so stupid praying there like a little worm? He looked like an idiot.
Well, I would say in this sport, listen, the line, I'll tell you this much. The line that I've been using over the past few weeks, since now we're back to a regular normal schedule on Sportswire, is that wrestling, doesn't matter what form it is, where you are, it's a dog-eat-dog business. So I will give you that you never let your guard down. But conversely, could I say, though, that are you concerned in any way that you're motivating Jacob Collins? Because you're right, he certainly had his struggles in the early part of his rookie run. But we've seen him show some fire of late, where I've even heard from other wrestlers that have told me off the air that Jacob Collins, you know what? I give him credit. He hasn't given up. He stayed. I've heard from different wrestlers out there. There's different names, different people.
I want names, Tom. Who said that about Jacob Collins?
I can't give up my sources because they asked me not to announce who they were on the air. But my point is that they said that they've said that he's gone on and shown a lot of character here these past few months. Are you concerned in any way that that's going to motivate him here in a match like this?
The only thing that I have motivated Jacob Collins to do is plan his funeral, because that's where this is leading. I'm going to put him in a casket. I'm going to put him 6 feet under. And just like I promised, like the man of God I am, I will pray over Jacob Collins' lifeless body. Does that answer your question?
Pretty much. But in the meantime, if you want to follow Jason Storm, he is the wild card. You can certainly check him out on Instagram at jason.storm.byw. If you want to check us out here on Sportswire Radio, you can follow us now anytime. We have a brand new website, sportswireradio.org, where you can either watch us anytime or click the listen live button, where 24 hours a day, 765 days a year, we play all different content from around the world, from your favorite podcast to live music. We have podcasts covering all of the 4 major sports, also professional wrestling. And if you have a podcast out there, if you want to go live yourself and talk to your friends and other people out there in the world of radio, I provide you that opportunity free of charge. I handle all the production, all the engineering, all the maintenance costs with that. So if you want to get involved and literally join the conversation, you can do that here also. And you can always check us out and watch past, present, and future shows here with ROEW and other great companies on our YouTube link. And also, I'll be back here on Thanksgiving. That's right, Thanksgiving. We are not taking a day off, because 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, I will have on Armageddon Shane Davidson of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling and Resurrection Pro Wrestling. And he was a big topic last night on the show with Joshua Allen, who was the referee of his match against Gunnar Morgan. And Armageddon Shane Davidson has requested a microphone even on Thanksgiving. So after you finish having turkey, you watch the Lions kick some butt in the first game, you watched everything else, you're getting bored of the 49ers and Seahawks, tune into us 10:30 p.m. Eastern time to hear Armageddon Shane Davidson from our friends over at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. You can follow TBW on Instagram and YouTube at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Also check them out on TikTok as well, Facebook. They have a number of different platforms out there. You can follow Armageddon Shane Davidson also at Armageddon with 2 Ds _ Shane Davidson. So that's Armageddon with 2 Ds _ Shane Davidson. So we'll be with him here coming up this Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. But in the meantime, we are here with the wild card, Jason Storm, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, the owner of Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station, the host of the Sports Report, and your voice of all wrestling. So let me get to some comments here because there are people that would like to talk with you. Our buddy, I believe from WCE Zero Day, says there's not too many yarders that I actually respect, but Storm is one of them. Okay, that's a good deal. We certainly
Got some brains,
appreciate
I like
that.
it. Got
Appreciate
some sense
that.
in the head.
That always appreciate the comments, and we always appreciate what Zero Deus is doing. Another wild card type, but the Atomic Freaking Titan has got a few things to say. He says, "Thanks for the respect. I can't wait to see you kick his hillbilly, uneducated butt because people from Alabama are only like their sisters. So good luck at ROEW anniversary. Respect to you, Storm." And then he also goes on and says, "Jacob Collins is a loser and a huge jobber. Storm, CJ, and myself are real stars, true good guys, and heroes." What's your reactions to those comments, sir?
Tell me when Mr. Titan has told a lie, Mr. Bryce, because those were all 100% factual, especially the fact of Jacob Collins being a glorified jobber. And that's what he's going to stay for the rest of his pathetic little wrestling career.
Okay. Well, you know what? Interesting comments. I will plead the fifth on the Alabama comment because I do think that we have people on Sportswire who listen from Alabama, but that is the Atomic Titans' opinion, and I respect it. Jacob Collins, though, likes to say, "Doors are always open to ROEW to come up anytime, Atomic Titan. I'll show you how much of a jobber I am, or I drive your head into the mat." And he also says, "Anyone associated with CJ Black is a coward," but the Atomic Titan goes on to say, "No, sir, we're good guys here."
Did he just... Wait a minute. Repeat that comment from Jacob Collins. Did he just say something about my best friend being a piece of shit?
Well, I mean, Atomic Titan answered it, but I'll let you read it again. Jacob Collins, oh, wrong person. Sorry, it's a typo. "Doors are always open to ROEW to come up anytime, Atomic Titan. I'll show you how much of a jobber I am when I drive your head in the mat. Anyone associated with CJ Black is a coward."
A coward?
That's what he says.
A coward? Jacob, let me ask you a question. Would a coward be the longest reigning ROEW champion of all time? Would a coward be the best damn backyard wrestler of all time in CJ Black? And would a coward be a hardcore king? I think not. None of us are cowards. You're an idiot. Go to bed.
Okay, all right. Strong words there in the
Next
Atomic
comment,
Titan.
please.
He backed that up, basically, so which I had pointed out. No, sir, we're good guys here. All right, let me. I got the Jacob Collins part. I'll come back to that, but I want to come back over to Anniversary, which is going to be airing this Sunday. Again, ROEW Backyard Wrestling, and we'll certainly have coverage post Anniversary. We'll definitely talk about it here on the show. But I want to talk about, obviously, what does the show itself mean to you? And to the fact that the success that ROEW has had, that you're going to be on a bigger stage here with the ability to prove to people like ADT that it's your house, it's your place where you've made your name, which has led you to other states. Talk about that.
Well, despite the fact that I'm in 7 current legal battles with ROEW right now. And yes, I did file
Donald
a
Trump is
lawsuit.
probably envious of you right now, if that makes sense. Not to get political,
Who?
but that's about Donald Trump is, I think, in about as many lawsuits as you are right now. So it makes
Well,
sense, right?
more power to him. He sounds like a good guy. Not my say to say anything about politics. Don't know about
Same here.
politics. I know about hurting people. But
Good
what
enough.
I do know is, despite 7 lawsuits against ROEW, I will thank management for one thing and one thing only. And that's for recognizing greatness when they signed the wild card Jason Storm 1 year ago. Because I became ROEW champion in my first 3-4 months active
I
as
was
a
going to say about
wrestler.
4 months. Yeah, about 4 months. Yeah.
Held the title for 6 months. I won the OMW title. I am the current, reigning, defending, undisputed OMW champion. I pinned Aaron Blaze himself. But
I know Aaron Blaze
being a
very
great
well. That was my next
accomplishment,
conversation with you. Go ahead. Okay.
despite being a great accomplishment, what really thrives me off of that is I took that title from the man that stole everything from me in JX, the matchmaker. What a bitch is what I think when I think JX. But to get back on track, ROEW has given me the opportunity to go to many federations, some that I like, some that I don't like. And with that being said, I have proven to the entire wrestling community that do you see what this shirt says? Not the whole thing, but do you see that word top?
Yep.
That's me.
It's lonely at the
I
top,
am
and you
top
have each
guys
other. Yep.
in backyard wrestling. In wrestling in general. All these lists all year I've seen on Instagram of everybody, ooh, Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, Captain Law. To hell with all of those guys. I am the best backyard wrestling. The best backyard wrestler right now. Got my tongue twisted because I'm so pissed off. But ROEW has given me a platform to thrive, to hurt people. And at anniversary time, I'm going to get back on track to what I should have been doing a long time ago. And that's a warpath of pure and utter destruction for anybody that thinks, looks, or says anything negative about my best friend and personal hero, the good guy, CJ Black.
I'm going to get to that. I have a couple comments, but you said something I want to go back to because you mentioned a few names and you took the OMW title away from a guy, Aaron Blaze, who's certainly cutting his teeth in a company that we also do a lot of work with called XCW. I'm sure you're aware of them. That's not the point. But you talked about names that have been cutting their teeth in XCW land. Jack Delta was on the XCW Halloween Harvest show, and he was on their post-show conference. The alter ego of Mr. Law, we've seen him in ROEW. You mentioned him, and you mentioned a guy, Aaron Blaze, who was just in the ring with the legendary GOAT, Chris Jones. What does that mean to you, though, to take the title away from another well-traveled guy in Aaron Blaze, to be able to do what you did to a guy that is another one of these up-and-comers that has been traveling all over the place and has now made his home in XCW, where he's a big part of things right now in this storyline battling EBW. I mean, that's got to be a huge thing for your career. You said you're only in this for 1 year, and the fact that you've done things like this, I mean, I have to ask you that question.
Well, I'll disagree with you on one thing. Aaron Blaze is new to the, XCW realm, but he's very distinguished. I think he has 16 plus world titles around his waist that he's won. Pinned him twice because I beat him on, I can't believe I'm even going to say this name, but Critical Backyard Wrestling.
I knew you were going there. Yeah.
Beat him in OMW in a triple threat match with JX. Man, Rex, scratch that. I've pinned Aaron Blaze. I've pinned Law. I've pinned Jack Delta. I've pinned JX. So all those guys are beneath me, Tom. All of them. All of them are beneath me.
Okay, well, that was kind of what I was kind of going to, is that, you have wins against a guy like Aaron Blaze, who's a well-traveled wrestler, a la like a Jack Delta, who a la was on XCW TV recently, and Mr. Law you mentioned, and we've seen him in ROEW as well. So you basically kind of conferred to my point here. Now I'm going to come back to ROEW in a second, which I'm going to tie into another place that we're going to see you in the ring for in a second. But let me get to some comments here. CJ Black likes my coat, but then doesn't like my coat. Well, it doesn't really matter about me tonight. It's about what's going on here with Jason Storm. But what do you want to say to your best friend, CJ Black? I'm actually going to let you address
Hi,
your best friend.
CJ. I'm glad you're tuning in. That's pretty much all I have to say. Hi, CJ. It's my
And you
best
feel
friend.
better. And what do you think about his chances against JX to reclaim that ROEW championship?
Are you kidding me?
I gotta
That's
ask.
a
I gotta ask the
no-brainer.
question.
He's literally gonna mop the floor, clean up the ring and the stage with JX, and he's gonna hold his property high above his head like he deserves, like he should have done a long time ago. I'll even go as far to say this: I may be the longest reigning ROEW champion of all time, but if anybody, and I mean anybody, was to take the belt away from me, it should have been CJ Black. I should have handed him the ROEW championship months ago, so none of this mess should have ever happened, and he shouldn't even have to wrestle a parasite like JX. Who does that when they come out to the ring? What does this mean, Tom? Do you know what that means?
So I have a theory. So maybe you guys should have recreated the finger poke of doom. Is that what you guys should have tried?
I wouldn't even lay down for him. I'd just hand it to him and say, "Sir, you deserve this. You've earned this. I've been holding it hostage from you. I was wrong for that. I apologize." And then I would bow down on my knees for CJ Black like he deserves and like everybody else should be doing behind me. He's my best friend and I love him, Tom.
Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna find out this Sunday if he's able to take that ROEW title from JX, or if JX will retain. But in the meantime, I do have some comments.
That second
Jacob
thing you said
Collins,
is possible. It's
Jake.
just
Well,
not possible.
listen, we're gonna find out Sunday. I mean, I'm gonna be watching like everybody else is. I'm looking forward to the match. I can tell you that much. I'm looking forward to the card. And by the way, cheap plug, I do want people to follow ROEW and actually watch the show on YouTube at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. And all of you are. Yep.
Can I clarify? Only follow ROEW to watch me and CJ Black on screen. If anybody else is on screen for any of you viewers out there, you can just turn it off. Honestly, you can just turn it off.
Well,
Anyway,
you know
continue
what?
on. Go ahead.
That's your opinion. From that, uh, Mr. Collins says that the Three Stooges are all officially here: Jason Storm, Atomic Titan, CJ Black. I don't know what you guys have anything to do with each other, but that's his opinion.
The Three Stooges.
That's his opinion.
Jacob, you look like a 4-year-old drew a picture of a teddy bear and showed it to their mom to put on the fridge. So shut up, you pathetic little weasel, before I come back to your church or I come to your house and
Joshua Allen agrees with Mr. Collins, and then Mr. Collins says JX is definitely retaining. And then Mr. Allen goes on about the Atomic Freaking Titan and says Christian Cage called. He wants his turtleneck back. Okay, well, the turtleneck was a big topic on Sunday's show at the Atomic Freaking Titan. You can follow him on Instagram at Atomic Titan. And funny, but I wanted to ask you. I want to come back to ROEW for a second and tie it into another promotion that we're actually going to see you coming out, because obviously you did a number to C Money. Now, you and C Money have also kind of, in a way, have gone back and forth in different ways. And I wanted to bring that up because that's kind of the most recent thing, or one of the more recent things that we've seen you with on ROEW TV. And that's actually going to lead you into somewhere else that we're actually going to watch you wrestle in the ring for, which we'll have coverage for. I'll get to in a second, but do you want to talk maybe about this for some of your actions with C Money?
we can talk about whatever you want, Tom, strictly for the purpose of I'm contractually obligated to be here. I'm contractually obligated to answer any questions you may ask, stupid or not. So go ahead.
So C Money, your actions there against C Money. Do you want to? What's your reasons, or what do you think that will lead to? Because I think there's an answer to that we'll actually get
Money.
into afterwards. Yep.
C Money beat me in the middle of the ROEW ring. I don't know how he did it. He probably cheated, but he did a few weeks, maybe a month or two back. He thought I forgot about that. So I was sitting backstage in my premium locker room at ROEW. Shout out to ROEW for that. At least they get something right. And I saw CJ Black beating the brakes off of C Money. And I thought it would be funny to have the production play JX's music to think, oh my God, our champion's going to save C Money. But then it was really me coming out, and I got to hit C Money in his pencil neck with that tornado lariat. Did you see that time I took his head off his shoulder?
I did.
And I want to do it again. But C Money's going to have to wait because I have ADT, I have Jocelyn Collins, and then C Money can get his ass whooped after those two. I don't mind. And I guess you were going to bring it up at this, that I'm going to see C Money soon in a ring. Well, that's true. I think it's no secret. It's been announced. I'll let you talk about it, Tom. Go ahead. You love talking. Go ahead.
I was actually going to bring it up because actually I wanted to plug it because we're going to have coverage next Friday on the air about a place where you are going to have a match in outside of ROEW called the IMF, and they have a show coming up called Winter Clash on December the 16th, and you're going to be a huge part of it. It's a phenomenal card, and we're really excited to speak about it here on Sportswire with a number of different talents. I think we're going to basically, to kind of spoil it for those that are listening and watching, basically kind of almost run the 2-minute drill with different people that are going to be in the ring, and we're going to have that opportunity to do that, and I'm really excited to be talking about the IMF here on Sportswire as always. But you're going to be in a match with C Money and then your best friend CJ Black in an ROEW showcase match. I'm curious, what can we expect here on December the 16th at the IMF's first ever live indoor show?
What you can expect. Well, Tom, spoiler alert, lawsuit number 8 for ROEW management, because guess what they told me today about Winter Clash? They said that if I try to help my best friend CJ Black in any way, shape, or form, my services from ROEW will be immediately terminated. So I'm going to let the world know, despite what I want, because I love nothing more than to just pulverize C Money and hand them straight to the good guy for slim pickings and for the 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have to actually wrestle a fair match, and I'm going to actually have to try to win, because I was told by not only IMF but ROEW that they want to see the Jason Storm of old. They want to see the Jason Storm that all these pathetic loser fans want to see. So, spoiler alert, for one night only, December 16th, I'll put on my biggest game face, my biggest poker face, and I will act like a stupid, pathetic parasite to appease management, to appease the fans, and I will do whatever I have to do to win that triple threat match. And if I do happen to beat my best friend CJ Black, it's nothing personal, CJ. You know I love you. You know I respect you. I want you to win. I hope I don't win. I hope somehow I get injured before the match. But with that being said, I can't lose my job. I have a daughter on the way. You know this.
Yep.
Tom even knows.
Congratulations.
Knows.
Congratulations.
I'm going to have to be a parasite. Something I despise more than anything. I'm going to have to lower myself. I'm going to have to smack my head and Cheer with the fans. Next question, Tom. I can't. I'm gonna puke.
Well, in the
I
meantime,
can't.
I'd like to actually plug the show so you can kind of get a little bit of a break here. I'm going to actually plug the show and plug the entire card, by the way, which is going to
I'm
take
gonna
place
puke.
December the 16th. It's called Winter Clash, again, from our friends over at the IMF
I'm gonna puke.
Wrestling, IMF_wrestling. Check them out on YouTube and Instagram, also Facebook. And you're going to see here a number of wrestlers from, get this, not only from Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Nebraska, and even Missouri. You're pretty much getting the entire Midwest that's going to be here. And we've got a number of great matches. We just talked about here the ROEW showcase match between CJ Black, Jason Storm, the wild card, and C Money. We have an open challenge from the WC Interstate Openweight champion, the resident rock star, Sean Jovi. Of course, he is the Foundation's rock star. We've seen that also. And the resident rock star has always been a big part of things here on Sportswire Radio. He'll have an open challenge for his title. We'll see a triple threat tag team championship match. We'll have the Foundation's Darkron and Dirty Donnie, a very intriguing matchup there from our friends at DKW and IMF teaming up against the champions, the Midwest Express, and the Dirty Haters. That's right, Remington Stryker and Jason Myers, very intriguing team there. And also, we're going to crown the first ever IMF Hardcore champion when Omen Black, by the way, it's his show here on Sportswire, so Omen Black is always going to be a part of things, especially when it comes to hardcore. And he had a few things to say, apparently, to the Atomic Freaking Titan about who's the hardcore king, but he's going to be wrestling and against Matthew Forsaken and Indian star Damian Sate. That's right, independent star Damian Sate, name I actually know very well here outside of the different coverage we have here in the yard. An Extreme Rules triple threat match, so we're very, very excited about that here. So it's going to be for the first ever IMF Hardcore Championship match. It'll be Omen Black, Matthew Forsaken, and Damian Satan in Extreme Rules triple threat match. In the main event, Soldier GP, our reigning defending IMF World Champion, the popular heel monster, will be going up against Indie Star, the Sieve, that is SIEV, and the type of match will be determined later this week. Stay tuned for more details. Again, Soldier GP will defend his IMF World Championship against the Sieve. Stay tuned for more details. If you want to buy a ticket, you can also go to the IMF's page. Also follow Soldier GP's personal page on Facebook for more information. It'll be at the Union Station, 1724 16th Avenue SW in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Bell time 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30. It's only $10 admission. Listen, you want to go to a movie these days? It's $20. Popcorn, candy, soda, you're talking about $50 out of a box. College basketball, if you want to go to a basketball game, you're spending 3 to 4 times that. NBA is going on, you're spending 5 to 6 times that for a seat in the bleachers. For only $10, you can see a who's who of Sportswire Radio guests, past, present, and future, go in the ring, kick some butt, do what they love for the first ever IMF live indoor show. Go out there and support them, run by a bunch of great guys and a number of different people, including the wild card Jason Storm, who will be in action there. I look forward to speaking about it here on next Friday's show here live on Sportswire Radio. But we've got another 20 or so minutes with the wild card Jason Storm ahead of his huge showdown this Sunday at ROEW anniversary against ADT. It's almost like the battle of the stars here. It's almost like everybody's talking about war games at Survivor Series, but this is almost like a war game here between the AWL and ROEW, and you get a front row seat on ROEW Backyard Wrestling's YouTube page to watch it. That's what I know I'm going to be doing. But let me ask you then, speaking of that, let me give you the opportunity for any final words that you have for ADT ahead of Sunday's showdown at Anniversary.
That was a lot to not listen to, Tom. I'm not going to lie to you. You almost lost me there. But ADT, Mr. Security, Home Security, Austin, Hillbilly Dumbass, whatever you want to be called. I'm going to warn you. You came up to Michigan last week and you surprised me. But you only get one, my guy. You only get one. Because when you come this Sunday, I'm going to be ready for you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to send you back to Alabama in a stretcher, in a body bag, or you're going to come up missing, period. And with that being said, I hope you're watching right now, Austin, so I can truly express to not only you, but to Mr. Reverend Tom Bryce, and I want Jocelyn Collins to hear this as well. I want C Money to hear this. Jason Storm is no longer taking any prisoners. People might see me as a funny guy because I'm having fun with my best friend CJ Black, but when that bell rings, I have one mission. I have one goal, and that's to destroy, and that's to defeat, to belittle, to lower anybody standing in my way, standing across from me, anybody even thinking about my best friend CJ Black. So if that's in Michigan, if that's in Indiana, if it's in Ohio, if it's even in Iowa, the results will be the same. I will hurt you. I will raise my hand up above your lifeless body. And I'm going to show everybody at ROEW anniversary that although the rest of my rookie year didn't go my way, I am still one of the best wrestlers out there today. And I think when we talk about anybody in this community and their rookie year, they can't sit there and say they've had the year one that I've had. I've proved myself from day one. Day one! And nobody, not somebody with AGT is BYW, gonna take that from me, Austin. So enjoy Thanksgiving with your family. Enjoy your cousin after dinner because we know that's how Alabama is. And get ready because come Sunday, I'm going to show you why they call me the wild card. I'm going to show you why I'm the longest reigning ROEW champion in history. And I'm going to show you why I'm the current reigning, defended, undisputed Omega Michigan Wrestling heavyweight champion. And if you think I'm wrong, Austin, ask JX, ask Jacob Collins, ask C Money, ask Jack Delta, ask Captain Law, and even ask Mr. Aaron Blaze what the wild card is all about. And although some of them may not agree with everything I'm saying, they will tell you that I can hurt you. I can kick your ass. I can give you a run for your money like you've never seen in those hillbilly half-wit jobbers that you've wrestled down in Alabama. So get ready, you little bitch, because I'm going to slap the fuck out of you and make you know what Jason Storm is really about.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, what I've learned tonight between ADT and the wild card Jason Storm is that this one is personal. We just heard Jason Storm mention ADT's real name. At least we think that is his real name. We've heard ADT speak about the wild card Jason Storm's mother, and he even tried to figure out where he lives. And turns out the wild card Jason Storm doesn't even live in Warren, Michigan. The sparks have flying like there's no tomorrow. Yep, he tried. He tried, but you told us on the air you don't live in Warren, Michigan. So the point is that this one's personal. There's usually it's a grub match. It's a match between two companies to see who's the bigger company. No, this is a match that's straight up personal. This is a match that's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be physical, and it's probably going to be a match where both guys may never be the same again. Because if you think about it, right, over the last year for their companies, respectively, in AWL, Alliance Wrestling, and ROEW, who have been the two featured wrestlers? It's been ADT and the wild card Jason Storm. That's why I say depending on who you like or who you don't like, it doesn't matter. This is a true dream match. This is why you're going to get a chance to watch it here this Sunday at ROEW's YouTube page at ROEW Backyard Wrestling. Go subscribe to their page. They're closing in on 500 subscribers. Let's keep supporting them. Let's keep supporting the talent that put their time out there, their heart and soul. And I cannot wait to watch a dream match between ADT and the wild card, Jason Storm. Like I said, the sparks have definitely flown tonight, and this one is going to be personal, and these guys will probably never be the same afterwards. I want to say hello to our buddy from Australia. It is nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon his time. That is Mr. Ace Reed of the Wired Up podcast. He says good day to you.
Love that guy.
Yep.
You know what, Tom?
I'm
going to show a rare act of kindness, and I want you to plug AWL for all of your parasites, so that way they actually know what it is, because I'm sure when you say AWL and ADT, nobody even knows who or what you're talking about. So go ahead one time. I will give you kindness. I will allow you to plug AWL one time. Go ahead.
I would actually appreciate that. I would actually like to plug the Alliance Wrestling League, and I'm glad that you said that, because I definitely agree with you that we should go over and watch the Alliance Wrestling League on YouTube. At Alliance Wrestling League, they put up all their shows Saturday, and they're shows that are short, sweet, simple, and to the point, and they feature a great list of wrestlers, including the likes of the Black Flag Army, and the wildcard Jason Storm is actually featured on their Instagram page as well, which you can check out at Alliance_Wrestling_League. And since 2013, the Alliance Wrestling League is a YouTube backyard wrestling show that has weekly episodes dropping every Saturday. So that's right. Alliance Wrestling League on YouTube. Go check out their stuff. Instagram, Alliance_Wrestling_League. They just hit not too long ago 200 subscribers. In fact, they're closing in on 250 subscribers now. So thank you so much for everybody that supported them. And we look forward to more from them. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Ace Reed of BWU Backyard Wrestling. Check him out on YouTube as well. So as I realize we're coming up toward the end of the show, I also want to give you the opportunity for any final thoughts toward Jacob Collins. And if you want as a bonus, anything you might want to say toward C Money at the first ever IMF live show indoors at Winter Clash. What would be your final words to both those individuals?
Damn, it is the holiday season. 2-for-1 special time. You're too kind.
Wow. Black Friday's coming. Black Friday's coming. Cyber Monday. If you desire to even wait for that, I figured go 2-for-1.
You know, I almost thought about taking a lawsuit away for the Sportswire thing, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it up. But first, Mr. Jacob Collins. I know you have a match at Anniversary, Jacob. But we all know how that's going to go. You're going to go back on another losing streak. I really want you to pay attention to when one wrestling machine steps into the ring with one said hillbilly ADT. Because what I do to ADT is going to be a mere fraction of what I do to you for thinking that you got one over on me when you pinned me in the middle of that ROEW ring. Something that has happened once, but will never, and I mean ever, happen again. Everybody's obsessed with the fact that I've tapped out to JX twice. First time, there was a spider on the mat.
I had you on here right after that. You were in a lawsuit at that particular time, the last time you came here with that. Yep.
There was simply an itch on my back I was trying to reach, but JX was in the way. It's really not hard to see. I don't know if the entire wrestling community needs glasses. I got a pair right here y'all can use. These are my wife's. If you really want to use them, go ahead. But I don't know what you guys think you're seeing. I don't tap out because I don't give up. Because I am that fucking guy. The wild card, Jason Storm. And with that being said, C Money. I've beaten you before. I've pinned you twice. You've gotten me once. I've pinned you in a triple threat match. What makes you think I can't do it again? You've disrespected me. You've disrespected my best friend. You've gotten in our business far too many times. And if that little beatdown we gave you the other day wasn't enough, rest assured, in Iowa, regardless that I have to fight my best friend against my will, I will finish the job against you personally. I take great pleasure in hurting ugly people. And three ugly people that come to mind, Tom: ADT, Jacob Collins, and C Money. So, the three of you, sleep well while you can. Because when I put you in the hospital and you're sipping through a straw, if you even make it out alive, you're not going to have comfort. You're not going to have sweet dreams. You're going to have nightmares. And you're going to realize that Jason Storm made you his personal bitch.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly looking forward to a trio of matches coming up from the wild card Jason Storm. And as I continue to promote, we're going to first see him this coming Sunday, ROEW, Backyard Wrestling's anniversary show. So after you finished your holiday plans, you're getting back and you're ready to go home and you're ready to unwind before the start of the work week, you can watch Jason Storm, the wild card, in action against ADT in a dream match. And then at some point in the near and distant future, you will see in a no DQ submission match the wild card Jason Storm and Jacob Collins, a match that was so personal that we saw these guys duke it out in a church nonetheless. And you are going to also see on December the 16th in the first ever IMF live wrestling show called Winter Clash, you will see the ROEW showcase match between the wild card Jason Storm, C Money, and CJ Black. That'll certainly be an interesting match, and we'll see how that all unfolds. You can support ROEW, AWL, IMF at a few places, including IMF_wrestling on Instagram, IMF Wrestling on YouTube at IMF Wrestling 666. Also, Alliance Wrestling League YouTube, Alliance_Wrestling_League on Instagram, and ROEW Backyard Wrestling Instagram. And you can watch the show coming up this Sunday, especially ROEW Backyard Wrestling. CJ Black wants to say Jacob Collins smells like old man fart. Well, that's certainly strong words. I'm going to leave that at that.
It's factual.
Okay, well, I'm going to certainly move away from that comment. I want to say hello to my buddy who is from over in Dominating Breakout Wrestling, who's out on the shelf right now, Mr. Austin James. And he says Sportswire Radio #1 podcast, and he also hopes you win. So he is also currently, I believe, the EBW World Champion. We wish him well. We hope that AJ can get back in the ring, and he is certainly with you. So you have a supporter from the state of Maryland. So Maryland is tuned in, and they wish you well. So you do have some supporters out there.
People from Maryland have some sense. I want to know if that Ron guy is still listening. I want to smack the piss out of that Ron guy.
Let me see. The last time I had I have a feeling Ron's not tuned in because the last comment we had from Ron was an hour ago. So I have a feeling that Ron kind of ran for the hills or ran to the hills, as Iron Maiden would famously say. After your words to him, maybe he left. Yeah, he left. He left, but that's okay. We had a number of different people that were tuned in. And before I get to closing thoughts, I know you're a busy man. I know you've obviously were only contractually obligated for a certain amount of time here on Sports by Radio, but is there anything else that you'd like to address or to anybody else out there, whether it's your peers, whether it's the different promotions or anybody else, maybe Omega Michigan Wrestling, if you want to address anybody there, I'll give you that opportunity before we sign off.
Yeah, I'd like to say that for anybody that I wrestle in the upcoming future, please, for the love of God, put on some deodorant. Y'all smell like ass. And I am sick of smelling farts while I'm trying to conduct business in the ring. So please, deodorant and shower, boys. I don't know if you've heard of it. I personally am a fan. You should be too. Start wiping your asses, start using some deodorant, and brush your motherfucking teeth before you step into the ring with me. Because if not, I'm just going to beat you down that much harder. Tom, I'd love to say it was a pleasure, but I only came on here because I was forced to. Didn't even know it was happening. Um, for anybody that's pissed off about that noise, that's my cat. Get the fuck over it. Don't care what you think about that. She's having fun, so I'm having fun. Not on Sportswire, but we're having fun here in the Storm household.
So what's your cat's name, by the way? What's the cat's name?
Her name is Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Okay.
She looks like a pumpkin. She's a little shit, but part of me and my wife getting back together and trying to mend things for not only our daughter, the stipulation was we had to get a cat. Didn't want to at first, but now I'm like the evil mastermind with the cat on his lap, so it's fine. She's all right, I guess.
Maybe you're a fan of
what else?
pumpkin pie.
I am. I'd love to say that I love celebrating holidays with my family, but since my family has disowned me, I'm making an entire Thanksgiving feast for myself. Nobody's invited over except for my best friend CJ Black, of course. I will be eating
And
turkey.
he apologized, by the way. And by the way, he apologized several weeks back at the gravesite of your mother. We have to also say I could see why you invited him for Thanksgiving if he decides to.
My mom would have welcomed him into our house even after the things that he said about her because he apologized. She was a caring woman. So I'll be eating turkey. I'll be eating mashed potatoes. I'm a Polish kielbasa guy. I don't know about you guys. Can't stand stuffing. Can't do no cranberry sauce. That shit's disgusting. You people are pathetic for liking it. Pumpkin pie's on the list. Green bean casserole's on the list. If you don't like green bean casserole, fuck you. Other than that, Tom, I guess I'll watch football. I don't know. I don't even like anything. So I don't know why I would watch football. But everyone's raving about these stupid Lions. So I guess I'll get on the bandwagon and support them. Ooh, football. I'm not going to give a shit about that. The only thing I care about is hurting people. And Pumpkin, of course. She's all right.
Like Pumpkin, and we want people to follow you on Instagram at jason.storm.byw, where you can find out.
And you know what? You know what? For everybody listening, if you're my friend on Facebook, and I won't say my Facebook name, but if I post anything about Pumpkin and you don't like it, so help me God, I will fly down to your city. I will knock on your door, and I will beat the shit out of you because she is famous, goddammit, and you will respect my fucking cat.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to those posts if you know who the wild card Jason Storm is. But if you don't, in the meantime, you can check him out on Instagram again at jason.storm.byw. He will be a part of a huge number of things as we continue to point out coming up here. And again, we will be back on Sportswire Radio on Thanksgiving itself this coming Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with Armageddon Shane Davidson, another big man who's going to have a lot to say. He's got a lot to get off his chest, and he's probably going to have had a couple of turkeys. He's probably going to have a few wings, a few legs, and he's going to get off a lot on his chest. You can check him out.
What time for that, Tom?
10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the Armageddon Shane Davidson.
I'm going to tell you what. Please mention me to this. What's his name again?
Armageddon Shane Davidson. He's a very big man, by the way. He makes, just to let you know, this is why I think people should tune in. He makes ADT look small.
Well, mention the wild card Jason Storm to him. If he says good about me, I'll let him live. And if not, we all know what's going to happen there. Just like the rest of you pathetic, idiotic parasites watching this podcast instead of hitting the gym or actually doing anything with your pathetic lives. So I'm just curious. I might even actually grace you with my presence while I'm cranking out reps in the gym, while I'm running on the treadmill, getting ready for ADT's bitch ass. I might even tune into Sportswire. I know I haven't in a while. And mainly that's because you've had nobody of relevancy on except for Atomic Titan. And Justin Parsley, the XCW guy.
Justin was well. To be fair, I hadn't been on much until the last 2 weeks. I mean, I was sick the most of October, and I'm back on the last 2 weeks. So, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think some of the more recent shows have gotten better. We have Bentley, who's Bentley 2 belts, got 2 world titles. We have Dean Allmark, who was in Impact Wrestling. He is considered basically the British godfather of a lot of the pro wrestling. He trained somebody named Tony Storm, by the way, Timeless Tony Storm. He's back in 2 weeks. The natural born fighter, RP.
Who the fuck is that?
Tony Storm
Tony,
from AEW. Yep, he trained Dean Allmark. He trained
who
Tony
is
Storm. Yeah.
Tony Storm?
Well, some people think she's a big deal. Some people think she's a very big
What is
deal. She's in a
AEW, Tom? What even is that?
well. Some
Is that even
people think it's a
real?
big deal.
Have you
Yeah,
been
some people
drinking
like
tonight,
it.
Tom?
I don't drink, but that's what people tell me, that Tony Storm is a big deal and that Mr. Allmark actually trained Tony Storm. And he's going to talk about that. And he's going to talk about a number of different things. But in the meantime, is there anything else you want to plug, share, or say before we sign off tonight?
Yeah, I'll plug one thing. If you want to see a backyard wrestler that not only has talent, but is just an overall God-sent human being, follow him at jason.storm.byw, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. For
Good enough.
anybody that is opposed to me, fuck you. And Tom, I'll change my mind. It's been a pleasure. It's been good hearing from you. I actually like your mutton chops. I'm going to say it. I know you had a little beef with my best friend a while back, but so long as you don't keep that shit up, you're okay in my book, Tom. You're not a good guy. You're an all right individual. That's what you
Well,
are.
I'll tell you what, because we are in the holidays, and I'll leave you with this. I'll try to brighten your day a little bit. I know, obviously, you got a lot of stuff going on. You're going through things at home and such. But one day, if you desire, one day, we have come up with a thing called the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Now, I always liked you, regardless of some of the things you do. Always liked you. You've been on the show, I think, 4 or 5 times. I haven't kept track. I'm sure my crack staff can do that. But maybe one day you might like to be inducted in that, and we can do an interview with you when that time comes. If you'd like to be in a Hall of Fame, I give you that opportunity. If think about it, don't have to say yes, don't have to say no. I know you're a busy man and you're going to kill Jacob Collins. You got ADT, you got C Money. I get that. But
I'll
maybe
tell you
one
what.
day you might want to be in something like that.
The simple fact that I'm not already in your Hall of Fame is a crime.
But we
And I
just started it, though. We just started it.
That's fine. I should have been the number 1 inductee. So I rescind my last comments that I said nice things about you. Didn't mean any of that. Don't know why I said it. I don't know what came over me. You have till December 31st, 2023 to induct me in your Hall of Fame, or you, sir, are going to be lawsuit number 9. How about that, Tom?
Didn't. But I would say this. I didn't say yes or no to you. I said for you to think about it. I know you're a busy man. You think about it.
Well, if you
If you'd
don't
like
want
to.
to get sued, you will induct me personally.
Well, I would point out that I actually offered it to you, and you kind of said that you want to be in, but now you want to go into a lawsuit. So I would like to induct you if you'd like to come.
Look, I'm going to tell you this. I know you're a guy. You know about the law. Lawyers
I do,
are
actually.
expensive. I can't keep shelling out money for these lawsuits. So, Tom, I will say it in simple terms so you can understand. Induct me into your Hall of Fame. That's it. That's all I got to say.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I'll do for the audience. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But in the meantime,
Audience.
I wish
an audience. Are they in there? Can they actually hear me right now?
Yeah, we're live. But in the meantime, I want to wish you a lot of luck in the ring. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk with you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we were joined by the wild card, Jason Storm, ahead of his matches against ADT at ROEW's anniversary, his no DQ submission match against Jacob Collins, and also on December the 16th at the IMF's first ever Winter Clash, he'll be in a triple threat match against CJ Black and C Money. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station. And if you're on sportswireradio.org, I thank you for tuning in. You go back to your regularly scheduled programming, probably reruns of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer, because we'll set the dials back to go back to your regular shows in about 45 minutes. But if you are on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Thanksgiving. I'll be on the air with Armageddon Shane Davidson of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one Global radio station that is Sports Wire